Today I'm here with Deb Jones, SVP of Capital Markets for Citizens Bank. I am so looking forward to this conversation, and I love the fact that you're in capital markets. Tell me a little bit about your career.
Well, I started out as an intern, so I got to really walk through various areas. And when I went through capital markets, I'm like, wow, this is dynamic, and it touches the beginning and the end of the life cycle. So, that was where I fixated my career. But I did take other, paths early on to not only build out aspects of capital markets, but other parts of mortgage banking. And that helped me be a better capital markets leader. So I was Chief Administrative Officer at Charter One, so I had, for a temporary time, I had even sales because there was a interim change with leadership, operations, things like that. And I had my own consulting firm for 4 years, so we did a variety of things. But I always found myself coming back to capital markets, and I just love the dynamic nature of what it takes to get the pricing, the products out, hedge it, deliver it, execute, and then the quality on the back end, doing strategic sales off the balance sheet. So I find it very robust and very interesting, and I really accredit all my leaders along the way that invested in me to help me fill out what have you not done, Debbie? And so I'd say, I hadn't done product development. So they'd put me in that role for a year or two, and I would really try to become an expert in that aspect of it. So that's really how my career evolved.
Is the capital markets segment of our industry, is it becoming more popular for women? I remember when I first started in the industry, there were very few women in capital markets. Are there more women in capital markets today, Deb?
There are, and I'm really grateful to see that. And you're right, I mean, I've been in the business 40 years, and ironically, one of my first capital markets managers was a female, and she was one of truly a handful. So yes, and I've seen it evolve over time. It's still heavily male dominated, but every time I come to a conference or I interact with people, I see people in the infancy of their career in capital markets, and I see leaders now in capital markets. So I'm thrilled to see that. It's awesome.
You mentioned you've been in the business for 40 years. Is there a career-defining moment that you can share with us?
There's two, actually, if you don't mind me sharing two. One's external, one is internal. So the internal one was, you may be correct in your thoughts, your ideas, excellent in your execution, but as you have a really high bar, Deb, and you expect others to carry the same bar, be thoughtful about your style, because your style may deflect from your intent and being correct, and you may lose the ability to influence others to go along a journey, because it takes a team to do everything in mortgage. And I think that was really the most helpful feedback, and it also took me to a place where I got very comfortable asking for feedback. And I wanted it to be raw. I wanted it to be real, because you're always in self-improvement. To this day, 40 years, I'm probably evolving more than I did 10 years ago, because I'm listening and I'm learning, and I don't want to be the old dog that can't learn a new trick. The external was with the engagement in the industry. That has been the most rewarding. Getting involved with the MBA, participating on committees, working on subcommittees where you really can actually make a difference and put output into that helps change policy. Just even the recent DTI work, and working with various trades like not only MBA, but Urban Institute or Housing Policy Council, and meeting and making network changes. And in 2008, there was a group of us that started a private lender roundtable group that still goes on today. How do we survive that cycle together as regional banks? That network is invaluable. So I would say that's career defining.
Yes, very much so. And I remember someone telling me early in my career when I was getting feedback, and you never know which direction the feedback's going to go. And she said to me, "It's just data. It is just data, and you do with the data what you want to do. And I choose to use it to try to improve. And just what you said, it really makes you more effective in being a team, being a leader. So that was great.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate your involvement. You were very involved with the MBA, and congratulations on the DTI. You
Well, it was a group effort. I loved
yes.
working with my peers in the industry. It's not singular. It takes a force, but I appreciate, and you gain confidence over the years and work with people and you respect them, and then you find they respect you, and then you get more comfortable, and it really ends up working out effectively. So thank you.
So I'm going to switch gears. I understand, I'm very close to my sister. I understand you're very close to your sister too, and you and your sister have your own business.
Yes.
And you're not making mortgages. I understand you make vodka. Tell me about it. Tell all of us about it and where we get it.
Yeah. So it's funny, I have an entrepreneurial family, and I did that consulting for a bit, which was entrepreneurial, but my sister, when she got her streak, she called me up and said, I want to bring farm to table, kitchen, fresh ingredients to the spirits world, because that was her background. She's been in the spirits industry. And she was ahead of her time. This was 18 years ago. And now organics are mainstream, and the kitchen, the farm to table is here to stay, is not just a trend. So she called me up and said, would you be my investor? And I said, write me a business case. So we stood it up. We have self-funded it. We are small, but we are everywhere and nowhere. But we've been all around the world with certain, countries that carry us, and then you can't find us next door at your ABC store or whatever. But we really, we're authentic. It's truly authentic. It's a very good product, and we live by what we say we're all about with, sustainability. So it's been great to work with her and keep the sister piece apart, and really work as business partners, so that you can't let emotion get in the way and try to strategize. So we've been blessed with accolades, Oprah's favorites, and awards and things like that. But we're
so
still
you're
working.
an award-winning vodka producer.
Yes.
Where do we find your vodka?
Well, you can get us online now, so if you're willing to pay shipping. But we are small. We are very, very small, and we are trying to scale up and pivot. So hopefully in the next couple of years will be easier to find, but we are online at squareoneorganicspirits.com.
squareoneorganicspirits.com. Yes. Everybody in the community, write that down.
Yes, please. You help a women-owned business.
Yes.
But I will tell you this. I think it's important for all of our women to hear this, and diversity, women and men as well. The diversity focus in the world today, in America today, has a long, long way to go, and I think we all know that. But we've had entities like airlines, I won't name them, call diversity suppliers into the picture. And they ended up not going with any diverse entity because we weren't cheap enough. And they went out to, a big box type of, and it's disingenuous, and we have to keep fighting for that to get into, we'll be cheaper if you can help us scale.
Right.
So it's a cart and horse thing.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you for asking me about that.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun.
Yeah.
I know whose house I'm coming to, for
we
a party.
Make great cocktails.
Yeah, I bet you do. So I have one last question.
Sure.
What advice would you give the younger generation of women in the mortgage industry? What nugget should they take away from this interview?
I would really invest in giving what you have to give to the company you're working at, and prove yourself and get allies in that company. I wouldn't job hop too fast. I see a lot of people do something for a year, and next thing you know, they've had 10 jobs, and they say, well, look, I have 10 different experiences. I would definitely move around. I did that early on. I said, I need to do this, this, and this, but I didn't job hop, if that makes sense what I'm saying. So I would really make a name for yourself somewhere that's positive, Doesn't have to be 10 years, you know, but it shouldn't be 8 months. And then take your name and that advocacy, because you'll find that those leaders will support you in your journey. That's what gave me the bravery to go to the next thing, that they actually supported. And then they spoke highly of me, that supported me and built what I think I have today as my brand. But it was because I gave back. It wasn't just about me.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Deb, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you sitting down with me.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you.